So this doesn't have anything to do with the movie I saw last night, but I went to a White Elephant gift exchange party Wednesday night, and I got several presents. And I actually was able to get several presents. One due to stealing someone else's mini skateboard. I think it's called a penny board, and I won this by beating someone at Connect Four. Look at this. This is awesome. This is really cool. This is basically a like Star Wars trivia game where you press this, you choose a mode which is a random question, or you pick a question out of all of these. This covers the first six movies: Phantom Menace through Return of the Jedi, and basically you pick whatever question you want to answer or choose a random question, and then you answer with A, B, C, or D. All the questions are multiple choice. And yeah, a friend got this for, well, basically everybody, but I think he knew that specifically I would really like this, so thank you to my friend who got this gift. And yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that really quickly before I talk about this frustrating movie. This is going to be a spoiler-free review. There will be absolutely no spoilers in this video at all. I will be doing a spoiler-filled review, which I'll be uploading on either Sunday night or Monday morning. Not sure exactly when I'm going to upload it, but today is my spoiler-free review. If you haven't seen the movie yet, don't worry, I will not be spoiling anything. I will not even reveal to you the plot of the movie. I'm only going to be talking on the very surface level of things I liked and, well, disliked. So yeah, let me get started with just how I felt about the movie overall. Disappointing. As someone who loves to this day Force Awakens and Last Jedi, I really like both those movies a lot. This movie was disappointing. It's it's not terrible. It's not absolute garbage. Not the worst movie I've seen this year by a long shot, but it was frustrating to watch. And I can't talk about what frustrated me because then they'll get spoilers. But this movie is it's very messy. This is definitely one of the more messy movies, Star Wars movies, and I guess that probably doesn't surprise many of you because you've heard about all the troubling stuff like, oh, test screenings went bad, Carrie Fisher's death, Kathleen Kennedy supposedly being a psycho. I don't know about that, but and like all this like troubled product stuff that was happening on production, and John Boyega's script being leaked. Oh my gosh, that was so stupid of you. But but yeah. So I guess me, like, I don't know, maybe like I'm very naive, but I went in. I did lower my expectations a little bit, but I still went in with high hopes that this movie would be very bold and grand, and it'd at least be good to me. If not great, then good. Um, and it was just an okay movie overall. Like it's very messy. The script is really rough at times. Listening to some of the dialogue, I was like, this was in the final draft. Like, jeez, like this some of the dialogue feels like it was from a first draft. Like I know it definitely isn't the first draft because the first draft was written by Colin Trevorrow and Derek Connolly before they left, or I don't remember if they were fired by Kennedy or quit, but basically they're not involved anymore. Um, Chris Terrio. I'm sorry, Chris Terrio. Why did Abrams or anyone, whoever at Disney, whatever, hire Lucasfilm, hire Chris Terrio? He's a bad writer. Argo, Argo was Argo was a good screenplay, but I think that's because of Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck, he makes a lot of mistakes, but he sometimes knows what he's doing, and I feel like the script for Argo was as good as it was, even though it was written by Terrio. I feel like the script was as good as it was because of Ben Affleck, surprisingly. But but yeah, the script was pretty rough at times. This is a very messy movie. the first 30 minutes go by faster than this bus in speed, which is not a compliment. Seriously, like the first 30 minutes, there's so much exposition and story and plot packed into the entire movie, but especially in those first like 20, 25, 30 minutes. And it feels so rushed. Like I definitely need to watch this movie again because there are definitely stuff that I missed. I was like, wait, what happened? Wait, we're on to this now, but what about the other thing? Wait, but what about the other two things? Like this is a really fast paced movie. Like I get it, JJ. You know, like I get JJ Abrams doesn't really like to waste time. He likes to edit his make his movies at a very quick pace. You know, keep the audience consistently entertained. But I feel like with Rise of Skywalker specifically, it was at the sacrifice of really taking time developing our characters and really, like spending more time, like and really emphasizing the emotional significance of the more emotional moments that happen in this movie. Um, yeah, but just this movie overall is just pretty messy, and if there are people who hate this movie, I'm sure. I don't blame you. I'm actually a little surprised when I that there are people who actually like and love this movie. When I walked in, so before and after I saw the movie, I talked with a few strangers. I usually don't like to talk to strangers at theaters, but I made an exception with when I saw Endgame, Knives Out, and this movie. And beforehand, and after, I asked a few people. I asked a few people who had already seen it before me. Oh, what'd you think? And they were like, all of them were like, oh, it was great. It was better than that garbage, The Last Jedi. Which I love The Last Jedi, so but that one guy I talked to didn't, and he thought this was better. So, um, and I talked with this one girl who was like, oh yeah, it was amazing. I enjoyed it better than Endgame, and I was like, wow, really? So, basically there was one group of people that I talked to after the movie who thought that it was fine. Uh, but for the majority of people I talked with at the theater, they all at least liked it. They're all like, "Oh, it was good. It was great. I loved it. Better than Last Jedi. I cried more at this movie than Endgame." So, it has the emotional punch of Infinity War, which no, it doesn't. In my opinion, it doesn't. So I was really curious because I also before even driving to the theater I read reviews and I saw the low Rotten Tomatoes score and some critics like David Elric gave it 2 out of 5 stars and and I've been hearing all these negative things. Some people even only gave it 1 out of 5 stars. So I was really curious how this movie would turn out, and I did lower my expectations because usually I agree more with critics and audiences, and this is definitely no exception. So I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have talked to people at all going to the theater because maybe I would have been able to enjoy this movie a bit more if I hadn't talked to people and hearing them rave about Rise of Skywalker and because of talking to them, my expectations did go up a little bit, but I don't know. It really does how who you talk to and how your audience is in the theater really does affect how you watch the movie. Um, not this case though. I still I definitely disagree with the people who said that they love it, and also my audience clapped. They clapped after the movie, and I'm pretty sure I was literally the only one in the full packed theater. By the way, there was not an empty seat in the auditorium. I'm pretty sure I was like one of the only people who didn't clap, and yeah, like just this yeah and 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 I don't know, maybe I should have clapped like just to like play along and not look like a negative Nancy, but just this movie, it's not bad overall, it's fine overall, but there were just so many frustrating things I'll get into in my spoiler review. What can I say in this video though? I'm kind of I can't really say much without spoiling stuff, so I'm not gonna talk for that much longer. I will say that every actor is competent. Every action sequence is pretty cool. There's some really cool um, fights and shots in this movie. Some shots that involve lightning are really awesome. Um, I really liked what they did with Leia. I was a little worried when JJ and Kennedy they were like, "Oh, we're gonna use footage from the previous movies, and we're gonna integrate that with the story of this movie." And I was like, "Oh no, Leia's storyline's not gonna be good." And for the most part, it is noticeable, but I think it's because they've been advertising that so much. Oh, we're using footage from previous movies and all that. For the most part, I accepted it. I thought they did a fine job integrating footage of Leia from the previous two movies into this movie. I also really liked what they did with Kylo Ren, and I thought that that was really cool. I didn't totally buy what they did with the Emperor. However, it was so awesome seeing Ian McDiarmid's back, so I just accepted it. There was some cool stuff that they did with him, but just the reason for him being in the movie, um, just I didn't completely buy that, but whatever. So I can't really. This is actually a longer video than I thought it was going to be. I was expecting to make like I don't know like a 7 8 minute video, but I end up ranting about a few things like going on longer about than I was supposed to about a few things like talking to people in theater and whatnot, and also the gift. So yeah, if you like this movie, I get it. If you love this movie, I actually saw a YouTube video of these two girls who were like, "Oh, it was so good, better than Last Jedi. Writing was better than Last Jedi," and it's their opinion, which is great. But I don't understand like how they could think that the writing is better than the Last Jedi. Like the writing for Rise of Skywalker is pretty bad, and the writing for The Last Jedi, regardless of what you think of that movie, how it's written, it's one of the best written Star Wars movies. Period. Probably the best written Star Wars movie, I think, in terms of a structural and character standpoint. So, but it's their opinion, and they're allowed to have their opinion. So yeah. Um. But if you like this movie, I understand. If you hate this movie, I definitely understand that. And if you're somewhere in the middle like me, then I, of course, understands that. I'm going to give The Rise of Skywalker a 6 out of 10. See you guys soon in my spoiler filled review of The Rise of Skywalker.
Gotin Gola.